Welcome to the basement, everybody! This is the SilmFilm Script Discussion Season 2, Episode 6. We've had a few technical issues, but we got started almost on time. It's absolutely fantastic. So, we have a bunch of things that we need to get into today, and I'm kind of going to really quick run down the short list. We definitely need to wind... we need to make sure that all of the Vanyar are out of Tyrion.
Yes.
We need to get through the pregnancy and delivery of Muriel with Feanor, so the birth of Feanor, the death of Muriel, and we have to get Elwë back. We have to get Elwë as Thingol back to his buddies back in Beleriand. Mm-hmm. And also something with Sauron.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that this might be our last shot at showing any of the orcification process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Until next season, yes. Yeah.
Until next season. That's the next time that we're going to see anything of orcs of any kind. So,
yes.
Yeah. Yay, not R-rated torture, Alex.
The hosts were very roundabout in their answer of the question of what rating do you want the show to have, because you'd think you could just say PG-13, done, or, youth 14 or whatever it is in other countries, and just say that and move on. But they're like, well, we don't think you need to show too much, so you can probably tell the story without, doing overboard. But it is a very grim story. So they never answered the question. They didn't say R or not.
Yeah.
But I think it's not R.
Also, we're kind of winging this a little bit because I didn't actually get to listen to the actual podcast. I was there live, so I'm operating off of my memory, which we all know how fantastic that works.
Usually.
So, is there anything else, any other events that you can think of that need to go into this episode?
The friendship of Indus and Muriel, which relates to what you already listed. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I think you have the basic important things.
Feanor growing up, yes. Do we want him to meet Nadanel in this episode? Is that next episode that he meets?
That's all next episode.
Okay.
He's a child, so it's the grieving Muriel aftermath.
Yes.
Of Feanor's childhood, not Feanor, talented wonder kid. That's the next episode going into his adulthood.
But we should be seeing kind of the beginnings of that, though. We should be seeing that he
should be a creative kid, but his kid projects are, look at this amazing painting my kid did, and it's, stick figures.
Okay.
But look at the good color choices, whatever. Parents always have things to say that are positive about the kids, and some kids are quite impressive for their age. I don't want to say otherwise. But the praise is, that's so good for your age.
Yes.
What an amazing thing. So he's still at the, that's good for your age stage in this episode.
Right. Of course. All right. So then what we need to, all right. So to me, I feel like the ultimate protagonist of this episode has got to be Finwë.
Well, it can't be Muriel because she's going to check out.
She's done. But Muriel's going to die. And she's not going to, we can't show much of Feanor's youth. Yes, she has the most salute. She's toast. So.
Oh, okay. There is, and Karita's here. There is one way we could make Muriel the protagonist. Hi, Karita.
That's okay.
And that is...
Marie showed up on time, so we started on time.
That doesn't seem fair. No, Alex, I think we need to show a little bit of the grieving for her because we need to marry off Finwë in this next episode. So there needs to be some aftermath to her death. She can't die at the very end. But she can be in Mandos deciding not to come back. So if we needed to do something at the very end with Muriel, it could be oh, hey, guys, Muriel says she's never being re-embodied. As the climax of this episode, rather than the beginning of the next one if we needed to do timing races.
You're right. We're not showing
inside. We could go back and forth. So Mandos can come out. I mean, Namo Mandos can come out and say, Muriel's not coming back. She's staying here forever.
Yeah. Now, do the it was my understanding that that she's approached while she's in Mandos when the question of can Finway marry or not comes up. Yes. Like, doesn't it, and they basically ask her, "Hey, are you sure you're not coming back?"
Yes.
Okay.
So Tolkien wrote out that debate of the Valar.
Okay.
He has each of the Valar weigh in on their opinion of this whole remarriage of Finway question. And Vaire says, I spoke with Muriel, and she is quite sure that she never wants to be re-embodied. And the other Valar are like, but what if she changes her mind? That wouldn't work. You know, if she came back and Finway's married, that's super awkward. So when they make their decision that, okay, Finway, you can remarry, one of the contingencies is promises never to come back. So she has to not just say she doesn't want to, but promise that that's not going to happen. So she does. They go and they ask her in Mandos, are you sure you want to, would you make this promise for Finway? And she says yes.
Okay.
That's how Tolkien wrote it. Now, we obviously are not going to show the Valar debating this topic. No, Alex, we're absolutely not doing that. It's written completely as a legal proceeding. Like the language of the permission that Finway is given, it's called the Statute of Finway and Muriel. It's a legal. We're not doing the legal proceedings of the Valar. And that's, no, you don't want this courtroom drama. I don't think.
Well, we're going to get some in this season.
We'll do the courtroom drama of the Valar, judging Melkor.
The people versus Melkor.
The trial of Melkor, I think, is appropriate courtroom drama. Debating whether or not Finway is allowed to remarry is like the proceeding of the day, kind of. I mean, it's a very rote thing, except it's not at all. But yeah, the point is that feedback from Muriel after her death is going to be necessary at some point, but it doesn't need to be direct. We don't need to go into Mandos and show her.
Yeah.
It can be reported if we're having an issue with that. Oh, is Karita talking?
Hang on. Let me just make sure that.
Oh, I can't hear her. No, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Oh, I know what happened. There we go.
Did you mute her?
I did for a minute. I didn't realize that I had not unmuted you. I thought I did because you were adjusting things and stuff. So I apologize.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird.
It's an awkward thing to get into.
Well, he's the king. Why does he need to go get someone's permission for this? And so it's very odd, and it's very specific to how unusual it is for an elf to remarry, which is not a thing that elves do. And that's the only reason, because it gets into the nature of immortality, and Tolkien wanted to look at that, so he wrote a courtroom proceeding. But I'm not even sure it's that great on the page. It's a courtroom proceeding. It is cool. He lets all the Valar speak, and some of them are quite amusing. They kind of like, well, the way they go back and forth. I forget which one of them says it, but and it's like, Finway should just wait. I mean, yes, Muriel doesn't want to be re-embodied now, but give her some time. I'm sure she'll change her mind. Just wait a few hundred years, Finway, it'll be good. Like, what's the big deal? And whichever Vala is saying that is one of the ones who's paired off. So it's like, let's say Ale was talking, right? And Yvonne's like, really? You'd be okay with that? Like, well, think about what you just said there, because there's consequences. Like, the way it's put back and forth is like, are you sure you'd be okay with that if I told you that you had to wait till the end of Arda to see me again? Like, so you get to see some Valar personality, which is fun and all. Yeah, it kind of goes back to Henry VIII having to ask the Pope for permission to divorce and remarry. Well, I mean, as far as what does this look like to have the king have to ask someone for permission, it looks weird. Is what it looks like. Yeah, and that ended so well. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yes, he's in the chat. So if you look in the upper corner, there's a little chat button. Yeah, you're on a phone. It's like on the phone.
No, you're not supposed to hear Alex.
Yeah, he's just in the chat.
Okay.
So to get back to the whole protagonist thing, if we made Muriel the protagonist, we could have her in the climactic scene at the end deciding to remain in Mandos. But if we don't do that and we just let it be something that happens off stage, the climactic thing at the end is going to have to be with Finway dealing with not having a wife there. So the protagonist is either Muriel or Finway, depending on how we want to end the episode. Yeah, I know that we're not supposed to show inside of Mandos very much. To say that we can't show it at all is wrong, because when Luthien comes to sing the song to get Baran out, we're going to see inside of Mandos. Like, we might not see very far. We might see, like, the entranceway and, like, shadows behind it. But, I mean, that happens in Mandos, and we're going to show that scene, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't avoid planning a scene just because it happens in Mandos and leave it shadowy and mysterious. And we can have a voice talking off screen, even if we need to do it that way, right?
Right.
You can be clever about protagonists that we've not had this season. I mean, Indus would be a new one, but
that's
I don't
actually
think
not a bad idea.
No, it's a terrible idea. Let's not make.
Really?
This is the birth of Feanor, Muriel's death episode. It can't be all about Indus.
Yeah.
You're right.
When you put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Lance.
Let's discuss that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, all right.
Choices of protagonists are Muriel, Finway, Feanor, Indus. Nobody else really. Like, that's what's happening in this episode, are those four people. And then the Middle Earth stuff is all secondary.
Finway loses the most over the course of the episode for somebody who's still there at the end of it.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You may have already covered this because I was late. What do you guys think about Muriel's choice to not be rebodied? Is she doing a bad thing, or is it just a choice?
Yeah, the host definitely wanted to give her some culpability in what happens here. Yeah, that's the thing is.
Well, later on she is, but
yeah, there's a few things with it, and one is that the fact that she dies after Feanor is born is the natural consequence of Feanor's birth. Like, after he's born, she is done. She's just totally exhausted, and she's not getting better.
right.
She's not going to recover from that. The question is, why did that happen? So they wanted to portray it as she was making the super baby and put way too much of herself into him, and that's why it killed her, essentially. So they're saying that she overdid it and it's her fault, which is, I see where they were going with, like, her pride has to tie into this somehow, but
yeah. Well, it seems like she's clearly, like, she clearly knows things are going to go wrong. She basically says it
at the birth.
No, when she passes.
Oh yeah, the whole hold me guiltless and all that comes after.
Right. Like she specifically asked Finway not to blame her for dying, and then not to blame her for all the horrible things that are going to take place after. She doesn't tell him what those are going to be.
Yeah. She just says, "Don't blame me." Yeah.
I almost wonder if maybe the fault comes more in, less in that she put so much of herself into Feanor's creation, and more in that she just refuses to come back in a new body. She just is like, I don't think I'm gonna do that. I don't know. Do we have anyone else?
So elves are supposed to get re-embodied, and she refuses to. So there's something a little unnatural about her choice there.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like her denying one of the very basic elf things.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, to me, what it feels like is that she just can't handle what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it seems like to me, because she knows it's going to go wrong, and she just can't watch. She just can't deal with seeing her child become the villain of like a huge part of the story.
Yeah, the refusal to return does seem to have a little bit of a being afraid to face the truth to it. As far as Alex's question of whether or not we're doing an analog to postpartum depression, kind of, but only to a point. Said no, it's not postpartum depression. So